I'm the man in the suit, crawling in my shit. Looking back.
Everyone wants to know.
Part. Yeah.
How does he pee and poo? And this is the part where we find out.
We actually get into it. Finally.
We get into how he pee and
question
poo.
You've been waiting months to hear the answer to.
Come out.
Yeah.
How does he pee and poo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that.
Sick.
Hopefully, who knows? But yeah, okay. So some of the things that you can sort of like identify in the series when it comes to the actions of Goji, because that's who I'm looking at when I'm doing this. Okay. I'm not looking at the documentarian. The documentarian
it's a character study.
Yeah, Goji character study, because I feel like the documentarian was just like a vessel for us to sort of see how everything is going. Because yeah, like that kind of thing. So I sort of looked at it in terms of like trauma of the body and the mind, and then body horror of some form, and then like alienation of the self and by the person and the people around them, right? So when it comes to, for me, the Goji actor, who is still unnamed in the universe, right? So we know the real Goji, the real Godzilla actor is Haruo Nakajima, but he's completely separate from this whole thing. He's not. Right. We'll talk about that even later, because people have some gripes with that whole thing of the Goji existence, right? So we know that he has like rage and negative feelings towards the people responsible for like his loss, right? That's his big thing, is like, fuck the American, fuck King Kong for what he stands for, that kind of thing. Even though I believe it was supposed to be just like a Japanese actor in there, but it was a simple idea that he was playing an American character. Right? Sure. He sort of expresses a lot of this like trauma and rage when he interacts with the King Kong actor or anyone who's like un-American. So the way that he sort of, when he sends that mail to the documentarian, that's like, you are part of the people, you're part of the reason why I'm going through all of this, you that kind of thing, right? I think that a lot of the things that he does is like trauma response, and it's like very visible in his actions. Like he may have like, you know, CPTSD, like complex PTSD. And my degree is in sociology and art history. So take this with a very big piece of salt. Himalayan pink salt, right?
Yeah, one of the lamps.
What's it? Get a lick of that lamp behind you. I know where it is. So do not let your cats lick that, please. You can see sort of signs of like the anger, resentment, and like potential occasions where he like relives traumatic moments when he does stuff as Godzilla, right? It's like fighting with the monsters, like rampaging through the city. It's like that kind of stuff. And we can kind of also surmise that like he has like survivor's guilt, right? He talks about like surviving all of the things that happened to his family and like that around him. And it's kind of natural that he's like, for me, it's kind of natural that he's like kind of consumed by the event in some way, because it's like a heavy type of experience, not to only to like lose your family, but also like the people around you, right? You know, some of these people, you have been to these places and suddenly they're like wiped out, right? You at one point existed with all these people and now they're like completely gone. You are like, in a sense, you're the last left behind to endure like the pain of like living, but also like rebuilding, right? Sure. And to all that stuff. The PTSD mentioned can be like a result of the survivor's guilt that Goji experienced, and I feel like we can read some of his actions through these lenses very lightly, because we are getting it like secondhand still, right? We're still getting it like, this is how he was acting. All of these quotes from the people are like, he's very embedded in that suit, or he acted this way, but we're getting it from the documentarian, we're getting it from the spy. His actions towards people that he like perceives to be part of the reason why he lost his family and their life together, they can be read as him like attempting to right some sort of wrong, or like at least trying to cope in a very like immediate, actionable way, which is just like, I'm gonna bite your head off and turn you into something that's like me.
It's one way to process things.
Yeah. I'll be honest, everybody. I was writing this when I was having a tough time, and you know that I decided to punish myself by writing it out by paper. So, when I think about my own reactions to death and witnessing it, I can, in a way, relate to some of the ways that Goji fills the suit with himself, right? In a way, like even in the beginning, when he wasn't cream in the suit, he was just a guy, right? He really was like a deep method actor, right? Even if we don't know how he does it, we know that he did it, right? Yeah. Right. Maybe playing Godzilla was a chance to unleash the rage that he feels at nuclear bombing and its after effects and how it caused great loss to him, right? Maybe he related to Godzilla's anger towards man and its follies. So he just sort of embodied him very lightly at first, but then it became something else as he began to sort of, I don't know, take that pill, get radiation, right? As he like sort of started to fill every single crevice of the suit as himself and became Godzilla. For me, immediately after loss, I became very much different to myself, right? In ways that I wasn't ready to become. But in my own time, I threw myself into a lot of things and took myself and really locked myself in them in a way that like felt like I was losing myself to them in a way as a way to cope and like understand my personal rage and my body as it was like changing during that time as well. For me, I was maybe this wasn't the best time to have been rewriting this because I did write it and then scrapped it. For me, I was reading as like maybe Goji filled up the suit with himself and became it because it was one of the best ways, though harmful, to cope with all of the things that he was experiencing. Right. At first, it seemed kind of like a guy who was like really deep into the suit, deep in the paint, is what I wrote, that he would tell people to call him Goji, right? Maybe his change was due to like really deeply identifying with Godzilla. Maybe to everyone around him, it was like, that's nasty stuff. What the fuck? Let's study this. But like maybe to him, like I was like, maybe this was welcome to him, right? I really was like being so nice to Goji. My character study of him was like, maybe he wanted it, guys, right?
Very sympathetic. Yeah. Right.
So, because it's like, there is an acceptable rage to have as like a person, right? For the most part, you can yell, you cry, you like kind of shut down, you throw shit. But at the end of the day, you still have to come back to yourself. The you that like sort of exhibits acceptable anger, sadness, or like whatever emotion that's tied to you. At the end of it all, like when he's like a regular guy, he still has to return to an acceptable form of himself, right? He can be angry about the loss of his family and all that stuff, but he still has to like pull it back. But as maybe he was like, for me, I was like, maybe he was like kind of, when he was in that Godzilla mode, he was like able to show like this animalistic rage and sadness and fever that he like experiences as a human. But like, we have expectations of Godzilla's rage, right? Like at the shit that we've done, right? You expect that this 165 foot tall creature is going to like stomp through the city and fuck shit up, right? Because that's what you're big. You're going to do that. You expect how like the powerful, like atomic breath, how loud it is. And you know that it's going to be loud and angry and you'll be scared, but that's like correct, right? That's like a justified reaction to Godzilla because it's like, it came here to like fuck shit up. You may be very scared of it, but like if you pulled yourself away from it, it's just like this thing reacting, right? To all of the stuff around it. It's everything that it does is the way it is because of nuclear fallout. But then if you think about like Goji as well, like in the sense, like everything he's doing as well is kind of like also because of the nuclear bombings and all that stuff the same way.
Right.
He hates and distrusts Americans and the role in his loss, but like he can only be angry in a way that's just and controlled, like as a person, right? For him, it's like, you killed my family, you destroyed my home, you made like ruins of my city, you like left me alone in this world that I'm sort of too small in my skin for and too big, but like I can't be too angry at you, right? I can't want to kill you. I can't hurt you back in the same way that you've done to me because like retribution is bad. I can you can do it to me, but I can't do it back to you, right? Because that's a crime. But as Godzilla, like as this being, like I can do that. So he becomes it. Right? I wrote it as like, so I become it. I fill it with all of me, and it becomes me. Right? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. For me, I was like, what would I have given to be a big fucking giant monster, right? So I can like tell people to shut up, right? Stop them from yelling during my mom's funeral. Stop them from like, there was like someone like pulled a knife on somebody, and my cousin had to like escort me out of the room, and I was like completely out of it, right? It's not like as intense as like Goji's like quick whole experience and like the heaviness of it, but it's like his way of dealing with how the world crashed down around him. And I was like, okay, if I was a big green monster, I can help. It could have helped me deal with my piece of this tiny world that was like fucking right.
You could have gotten that out.
Yeah. Like there's a correct way to grieve and be as like the only child who knows how to do like everything. And despite having like no experience in any of that, like it was fine that I was like kind of quiet and like shoving literal chow mein into my pocket. But it wasn't fine that I got mad for the very first time very loudly, right? It wasn't like, it was fine that I was like very sad for a bit, but like I had to still like come back at the end of the day, right? Like,
right. The expectations were still there.
Yeah. Like at that point, I was like hallucinating like some things, right? And then my ADHD for the first time was so uncontrollable, but I still had to like reel it in, right? If I was Godzilla, my brain, I'm like this. I was like, if I was Godzilla, I would be allowed to be so angry, right? And it's entirely possible that I'm seeing this wrong. And I was like reading it through a very like sympathetic lens of like, here's this guy biting everyone for like no reason, and he's just letting his rage out. But like, I did, when I was doing this, like think of like what I could do if I was like someone else and I was allowed to react in ways that are not acceptable or expected of me as who I am, like perceived by, or how like people know me, right? If I was a big green monster, I can be this, right? And then when it comes to like the external like treatment of him, when we look at like outside treatment, we see like the trajectory of the reactions to him go from like this guy in the suit that's kind of normal but like very super dedicated, and then to like the weird like, oh, he wants us to call him Goji, he's not even going to use his name anymore, we're just going to call him Goji. And then to this thing that
the cash cow eventually, right?
It's like they don't see him as like a person anymore because they've lost the man in the suit, and he's like fully formed into like, he's no longer a man in the suit or a man who became part of the suit, but he's now just like a creature or an animal of some sort to be like tamed, studied, analyzed, like taken advantage of and controlled. Like at first, like we know that they try to like understand him. Like they're like, oh, he took a pill. At least it's like, it's radiation. But like, and then in episode 5, they're like kind of like still working to understand him, but also like, we're trying to train him. Like, that's not a guy in there anymore that you've like, I don't know, like in the transformation, he becomes less of like a man in the suit, and he's now like an animal to study and take advantage of for like production, right? Any acknowledgement that the studio would do, they are saying like, this is going to cause shame and harm to the studio, instead of like, yo, what's Goji feeling? Like, how is he going through that? We're like, he's not speaking, that kind of thing. And then like, maybe when I was thinking about that, it's like, he's just alone. Like he has no family, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's why they were able to be like, we can just pass this off, because who's he going to run home to and tell? Who's going to come and miss him? And, like nobody, right? If people have collectively decided that you are like something else than what you are, like at that point, with no one else as like a point of reference, with you even being unable to speak, like who's going to say that you're not just Godzilla now or Goji in the suit?
I feel like I like your reading a lot of like the kind of psychology aspects, and I think I just thought of like the way that sometimes psychology really is that way of getting you to the point where you can fulfill your societal obligations, right? That's like the main goal is like, well, look, you're going to feel like shit, but you can still go to work, right?
Yeah.
You can still like participate in society and be a productive member of society, right? All right, you're good enough to go to work. Good luck.
Yeah.
Right. And the same way that Goji, it's like, well, okay, we can train him enough to still be in the movies. That's really what we want out of him. Right.
It's really like, guys, it's so fucked up that we don't understand. But hey,
he's still showing up on set.
Yeah, so, he's still coming to work. Right. It's like that thing of like when my mom died, I was like, so when do I go back to work? Right? Like, when do I go back? Because like, yes, I'm gonna like be, hey, boss, I gotta go to the bathroom because I am going to start crying. But I can still come back to my seat and continue my job. Right. I can still, whereas for this is like, he may be spitting acidic blood and attacking everyone, but there are points where he can still come back and work with us. Right. We also don't just see that in Goji, right? For Angurius, like they try to make him comply by tasing him, doing all these things. They're essentially treating them like circus animals to like, hey, this elephant can stand on its hind legs because you've tortured it enough for it to do that. Like, right. And although we don't get a glimpse of like what happens with the cocoon, other than just being a ceiling labia, like you can kind of surmise it. Like at some point when something happens beyond the fact that you're just a cocoon, like in universe Toho is gonna be like, so are we gonna get a Mothra out of this? Like, is that gonna be real?
Right. Yeah. That was the next step.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. So like we get like the othering of like Goji and Angurius by the studio, like the crew, the doctors, and the documentarian who for me, it didn't start for Goji like when he turned into the creature itself, because they were already kind of like, this guy's fucking weird. So it was like a tender, like very soft, like this guy's a fucking weirdo, like whatever he's doing, right? Although it's like just in text and like quotes, like you don't know how they're like feeling when they're talking about it, about Goji's actor in the beginning, and like if they say it like very jokingly with good intent, there's still some wording that's like kind of like negative. That has negative connotations, or at least feelings of like, that man's weird. Right. Like, which like, I wouldn't be free of that either. Right. I'd be like, hey, he's telling everybody to call himself Goji. He's not coming out of the suit. He's taking the suit home. Like he takes the suit home. He like lives in the suit. It's just like the sense that like, once they lose the idea that Goji was a guy, it's now fair game to like poke at him and treat him like he's like a frog in like a biology class, right? Like the experience is also like body horror in a sense, especially when you look at like the expectation versus reality, like stills. Like he has like the transformation, the bloody acid vomit, like his eyes now no longer being where you would expect it to be, but now like up where Godzilla's eyes is. So like, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what body horror is, but like body horror is horror related to the body, like disfiguration, transformation, mutation, or something like that. Or in Goji's case, being cream in a donut, Boston cream pie style. Right. And then I know I sometimes I do have problems with body horror because sometimes it's like, it can lean on like, this is a real physical disability that you're kind of passing off as like body horror. But in Shannon Lewis's like 2013 article, What is Body Horror? I really liked this thing that they did with like, there's body horror, there's stories about body horror or stories with body horror in them, right? Like, for me, Man in the Suit is like a story about body horror. Like the body horror is not happening offsides. Like everything that we're interested in the story is like,
it's about body horror.
Like, it's central to the story and it's like symbolic of something, right? Whether it be like vengeance or rage or symbolic of like something else. Like how like trauma can change you for like the better or worse, and like how it leads people to treat you and how you act in your own trauma, right? Lewis kind of said that like body horror is a horror as it can happen to us, primarily like out of our control, right? There's that.
Sure.
I read the Wikipedia page for it. I did not read it, but you know that one where like you peel the skin off of like your nail, And then it just keeps going and going. Like that's like body horror. That's you're keeping on doing that to yourself, right? Whereas opposed to like this is like completely out of his control. And then like there's a fear in like suddenly changing in ways that you don't want and you can't fix. For me, when I was like, because we have the point of view outside of Goji, I would have really liked to know like if the actor knew what he was turning into. Like you in the first couple of episodes, like there's like before he like fully stops and they come up to him and like try to peel him out of the suit, there's moments where he like the documentary said like he would start and then stop suddenly, like he'd just be stuttering movements and then finally he just stops. Like was that in reaction to like the experience of like your body changing? Because like we don't know if he like suddenly became, if he like just exploded in there and you didn't hear anything, or like if that was like over a course of
days or whatever.
Because again, he brought the suit home, like that kind of thing, right? It's like, did he just wake up one day and he was no longer like in his human body, and then he went to work, and then all of a sudden they find out what happened to him, and like I don't know, it's like you see the body horror from like the external view, but you don't get to see it as he's experiencing it. And I would like that, but we know that like if you were going to do that, it would stop once. It would maybe stop once he just turned into like fully Godzilla. I would have loved to see or hear or read in a PowerPoint presentation how he experienced it and how it like changed him. If it was like gradual, or did he just like kind of explode like a cream donut, that kind of thing. And there's in the article, he, like Lewis discusses like going through your period and eczema as like aspects of their own like personal body horror, and like and as someone who gets both, like getting your period is a lot of like horror, isn't that what?
Wait, this tangent here. Yes. We went to a comedy show, and there was this lady in the audience who came up, and she was like, it was like a podcast recording, and she was like, I wrote a story about girls using their period bloods for magical rituals as witches. So, and then we heard that multiple times. We've heard a lot of that in like the last few weeks. I think it's kind of like the, the red car phenomenon, where now we're hearing a lot about like girls using period blood as magic. So, period. Also magic.
Period. Period. Exactly. Period. Right. Like when I was first getting these things, I understand the horror of it. Right. There's a lot of, but for me, it eventually sort of did not become horror anymore. So it just became sort of like a normal, regular itch. Yeah. Right. And it's like kind of thinking back to like, I'm experiencing this trauma, this horror, this terrible thing happened to me, but I still pulled through. I still came through, right? Like I understand the horror of it and like how people experience it that way. I have heard terrible stories about like people that I know when it comes to like the period pain, the people with PCOS, like all those things. Eczema, I had it terrible in the beginning, but I eventually pushed through and was able to work through it despite it all. So mine became less of a horror and more of like an inconvenience, because it wasn't like I hate how I look or I hate this like thing. Right, but now it's just kind of like, I guess I'm itchy today, or like that kind of thing. And I sort of was like, hey, this is a cool excuse, isn't it? Right. I can't do things today because for me, it's a cool excuse. Okay. Like some people, they genuinely can't move when they have their periods. Some people have the worst fucking eczema. But for me, when I was reading the part where she was talking about like the period as a horror and then like so many of these things, like these terrible actions, I was like, yo, maybe that's my freedom from like,
got a little benefit.
Yeah. That's my personal freedom enormously for like the things I want to feel, right? Like I can't fucking deal with this. I'm going to be XYZ for a second because I'm going through it, right? This is my big green monster and I get to do whatever I want. So like, that's how I was reading this whole thing. And then like, and this is also the aspect of the story, like I was talking about a while ago, is like, we're taking this everything from the point of view of like the documentarian, right? It's interesting because it leaves a lot to the imagination, right? I still, listen, I said we're going to know how he pee and poo-poo, but we don't know how he pee and poo-poo because he gets shot.
Lie. Okay, so you're just misleading me. Okay.
I can lie because I'm Godzilla. Right. Anyway, so like it would have been nice to do like maybe like a multiple POV of it like simultaneously, because we do get like that video email. Sorry, this was the 50s. No one was emailing anyway. That VHS that was once again Goji sent that while he was Godzilla, so he's got hands and he's got editing skills, right? He it would have been nice to like get his point of view as he like succumbs to the transformation. But like overall, Man in the Suit tells a really good story about transformation through the eyes of someone who isn't. I'm going to read this one through the eyes of someone who isn't going through it and is only given maybe bits and pieces of Goji's story. Understanding the transformation and its horrors can we sort of guess at from context clues, right? He's starting. He's really completely obsessed with who he is. And maybe I'm god awful wrong about grief and rage and appropriate levels of it. Maybe I'm wrong about body horror and other freedoms that it allows, but at least I'm not as wrong as I'm going to talk about how I hate a Godzilla movie for one minute.
Okay. Sure.
I may be wrong about these things, but I'm not as wrong as Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich with that god awful 1998 Godzilla movie, you fucking bastards.
Oh, the American one? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, not a good one. Yeah.
As a lover of camp and weird bad stuff, I hated that. So you're wrong. You're all wrong. And I hate it. I know you can't see it, but I'm literally grabbing my chair.
Yeah. JD's shaking over there.
So angry at that movie. Anyway, that is it of Man in the Suit for me, but I will give a final update about love and hate for this, and it kind of sucks.
With the analog horror
of this one of Man in the Suit, according to Unknowingly, the series is done and canceled, so we will never find out if. How and where Godzilla pee and poo. From r/Godzilla, I was able to see that this was due to fan reaction towards the creators' narratives about Toho and the suit actor. He's unnamed in this, but everyone was like, yeah, but we know he was, and like, they didn't like the darkness that was around it, right? They didn't like Toho being presented as this evil company who will take advantage of this thing. They didn't want that. And they think that it sort of sullies the history and like the impact of the suit actor. And I read around this very like long thread from a user, and it's basically some very incredibly serious Godzilla fans were like, this is disrespecting the Ted and Toho's legacy, right? Everyone was like, people were like, you are interacting with this media wrong. And so Unknowingly was in February 2025 was like, it's done and canceled. It's done. Nothing after. And now
Godzilla heads. Shut it down.
Godzilla heads. What the fuck is wrong with you? And as a person who did work at AO3 and has friends who write and consume fan fiction and other content inspired by existing works, and thinks that you should go back and read and listen to our fan fiction episode and our lots of stuff that we have around fan media. I think wrongly interacting with media is so subjective, and you guys all should get your head out of your butt. What I gathered is like people are also just weird about Godzilla in Fortnite, which is a great sentence to me.
I know that's good.
Yeah, it's like for me, a Godzilla fan, born and bred. When my friends told me that Godzilla was in Fortnite, I think I was like, that's sick. right? Like,
yeah, Mothra's the glider.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick.
It was very cool because like some of my friends had never seen Godzilla before, but then they would stream it to me and they would show me like the big Godzilla that you had to fight, or like you could be Godzilla and you could wear like Air Force Ones as Godzilla, like, or like, and it's like, it kind of harkens back to like when Toho did that run of like trying to cater to like a younger audience, but maybe it's working better this time around, right? Like maybe because like, does it hurt me, Godzilla's child, to watch Godzilla in Fortnite and then later on watch Godzilla -1 in black and white? No, it doesn't hurt me because I know that they're separate, and it kind of does make people interested in Godzilla, right? My friends had never seen Godzilla before, but they're playing it for me, and they're like, "What does he do?" And I'm like, "He does this," right? And personally, does my dad care? No, he doesn't care how people are interacting with Godzilla because as it says in as it says in Man in the Suit, you can't kill God. You can't kill Godzilla, bitch.
Can't be done.
You can't do it. In Godzilla -1, they have that little bit where like, yeah, they blew up Godzilla in the water, but hey, he's fine. You think you're gonna kill him?
Yeah, it's not. Can't be done. Can't be done.
Man in the Suit.
Kill me, you can't get killed again. Yeah. Godzilla's fucking raw. I love Godzilla. I would definitely say, I think, I think it seems fine to do the Man in the Suit. I think it's an interesting read. It's an interesting like fan media thing. And like the whole like, oh, but we know who this would be. Well, they didn't say who it was. It's a work of fiction. And also like you're disrespecting Toho's legacy. It's like, I feel like that just seems like weeb shit to me sometimes, where I feel like Americans are like really romanticized Japanese companies.
In Japan, they don't have fan art.
Yeah.
It's actually called
famously.
It's a
literally.
It was for me. It was like a cool new, like fun way to interact with Godzilla, because as we've said, I'm scared of dinosaurs, but I've never been scared of Godzilla. I watched Godzilla -1, and I was partially at some points defending Godzilla. So that's the kind of person I am. And I was like, guys, what are we going to do? But then for the first time, I was indeed scared of Godzilla in this. So that was a fun time for me to be finally scared of Godzilla.
Yeah. But only this version of Godzilla. Just Man in the Suit
Just Godzilla. Man in the Suit Godzilla. If like literally Godzilla was here right now, I'd be like, what's up?
Yeah. Are you chilling?
Chilling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Godzilla -1 was really good too.
Yes.
Nice return to form. Yeah.
I love
Shin Godzilla was good too. I like Shin Godzilla.
I'm glad I watched -1 in black and white.
Yeah.
It felt very like, because I had rewatched the original Godzilla again, like
before
that.
So you get the continuity there, kind of.
It was so nice.
Sick. Yeah. Yeah, it's good as a movie. Yeah, I like your reading of the grief and rage. I think that was a really good reading. Kind of wanted to like lose yourself in your work, or lose yourself in some way to not have to feel the feelings. I mean, yeah, because I think like Godzilla obviously is inspired by nuclear warheads, the use of nuclear weapons, which is a man-made horror that I think is kind of beyond our comprehension. As Americans, it's definitely like, oh yeah, we had to do it. We didn't have to do it. There was no reason for that to be done.
It's like a recent anniversary, August 7th, and then another politician was like, there was no other way to end it. And then an artist sort of responded to it as like, are you sure about that?
The Japanese were already agreeing to surrender. That was like on the table. The main reason it happened was to like show the Soviets that we had it, and to like that we were willing to use it, which again is just like
we had to do it to them.
Check out this. Yeah, let's blow up 2 cities and unleash hell on Earth. Let's just make it. Yeah. I mean, again, and that's another thing is like, less people died in those bombings than like the Tokyo firebombing that we did. Like,
it's like, I also like, I was 21 pages in, and I thought briefly of like, there's like the acceptable like rage kind of thing, and like, but it's also like in terms of like Asian culture, like the safe face kind of thing of like never showing an emotion that is not controlled or anything like that, right? I was like, maybe I could do that. Like, this is the form of like taking up Godzilla because you can't. But I was like, my hands are hurting. I can just yap about it.
You can yap. You can bring it up.
Yeah. It's like
in the moment. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, it would be understandable why Goji would absolutely be lost in grief and suffering. And that's a fucking nightmare that people actually live through. And
can't blame them, but they had to do it.
Yeah. No other choice. The Japanese, their fighting spirit was just, again, that's always like weird, like Orientalist like thing too, of like Japanese people are just so honorable. They would never have, yeah, they would have. They were close to it. You were going to meet up with them. You had meetings to discuss it.
But what if they didn't come in?
Yeah.
But yeah, Man in the Suit.
Yeah.
I loved it. Man
in the Suit. Pretty sick. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about like fucking Monument Mythos a little bit more. Monument Mythos, what was going on? Obviously, we're talking analog horror. We're talking Lovecraftian elements very clearly when they talk about Cthulhu and shit like that. And like unknowable entities beneath the Earth's surface, all that shit. Alternate history. We got the perfect. I feel like analog horror in general has like the marriage of like high concept, low budget is like very frequently there. Yeah. And that's not like a knock on the genre. It's not a knock on Monument Mythos. And I think Monument Mythos does go above and beyond with like voice acting. There's like people that they have voice actors in multiple languages to do different things. They have like French ones and Italian ones. I'm like, that's pretty sick. And it's worth noting, I think, that the fucking goddamn motherfucking clicker is fucking my shit up.
Oh my God.
Piece of shit. That the third season does feature some AI images and animations. The kind of the ultimate battle, the ultimate showdown is done with AI and shit like that. So there's AI, but Manticore did say in the like pinned comment underneath the video, I regret the occasional AI assisted imagery that was edited during the initial AI craze. It came out in 2023, right? I will never allow that again. For the vast majority of it, the season was made from scratch with a lot of love and experimentation. So not going to hold the AI thing against them. Again, it was 2023. I think the conversation was still more up in the air. I remember in 2023, I went to an AI art exhibit that I was not a fan. And I was talking shit to the artist, but but most of the coverage and discussion that I saw on the Monument Mythos is kind of more dissecting the lore and breaking down, what's really going on in the story, what's really going on here. And so on the one hand, there's no niche there. I don't think anymore. I don't think it's a waste of fucking time of my time to talk about that. We can watch a 3-hour Wendigoon video where there's like a whole timeline and breaks down what's happening. It's not linear. There's all this shit going on. And also, I don't really give a fuck about lore. You know that. I'm not like a big, I have to understand everything that happened kind of guy.
Real.
I'm about the vibes, and the vibes are dark, and I don't think it's like too crazy to say that, right? I came across a few people online and like Reddit and shit saying that there was nothing deep going on with the Monument Mythos. Someone actually said this is like if American history was actually interesting. And I've just been fucking dying to shit on something. So, as a history buff and a hater, I've got to clap back a little bit. First of all, the idea that American history is not interesting. Cause I used to think that too. I did not like going to high school. And even community college, you're mostly exposed to like kind of the McGraw-Hill, version of events, which, absolutely just glaze the founding fathers and shamelessly, omit some controversial aspects of American history as much as possible, right? Even to the point where some have said like, oh, African immigrants came here in the 1600s and 1700s. Or, the Native Americans agreed to move and sold their land. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think that shit sucks. And, obviously history is contentious. I'm of the camp that is whitewashed bullshit. Fuck that shit. But there's better stuff out there, I think the kind of quintessential gateway drug is, of course, Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. I recommend everybody read that if they haven't. It's a fire book. It was written in the 80s, but it's so some of it not all perfect, but it holds up pretty well overall. From there, you can start flipping over kind of any rock and seeing what disgusting bugs are underneath it. Maybe you want to get into the history of CIA fuckery. Maybe you read about the Jakarta method and how he's funded a fucking genocide in Indonesia. Or how the internet was always meant as a tool for subjugation and surveillance. Books like Surveillance Valley. Maybe you want to learn about anything, right? Whatever you decide, whatever aspects of American history you want to study, from the very beginning, when this history was built on slavery and genocide, to now, when we make ourselves great again through the use of slavery and genocide. American history is a lot of things, but boring, not interesting is not one of them in reality. Yeah. And I think, again, to say this about this series in particular is fucking crazy, because clearly Manticore has a lot of interest in American history in our own universe, right? So for starters, let's kind of focus in on the Horned Serpent, and not just because it sounds like a quality product from one of our soon-to-be sponsors at Bad Dragon Toys. The Horned Serpent is George Washington, right? In Monument Mythos, G-Dub is introduced doing some classic G-Dub shit. He's chopping down the tree, and he gets sucked into the special tree, and he gets pulled apart like fucking spaghetti turned into the Horned Serpent, right? Crazy. He's this distorted serpent that lives underneath America, right? The Horned Serpent is occasionally referred to in the series as Hannah Gears. I'm sorry, that is an Iroquois word. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it references a not at all complimentary nickname for Washington given to him by the Iroquois people. And it's variously translated as a town taker, the burner of towns, devourer of villages, or he who destroys the town. Nickname, fairly self-explanatory, right? His great-grandfather also earned that same nickname, and then George Washington earned it in his own right a few generations later because he followed in the family business of killing indigenous people and stealing their land, right? Nepo baby George. He was also the richest man in America, so let's just keep that in mind who he was. The Horned Serpent is also a recurring figure in the mythologies of several Native American tribes, and the role of the Horned Serpent in myths varies widely across tribes. Obviously, they're a very diverse group. The motif of the snake with horns is kind of well established, right? So sometimes it's like a trickster, sometimes it's just like this magical being, sometimes it's just literally a snake with horns, right? But as a motif, it's well established in Native American folklore across various tribes and various regions. So the Horned Serpent is from the start kind of a perversion of our ideas of who the father of America was, right? It's a through line throughout the series. It's what drives the construction of the Suez Canal to secure American trade interests. It feeds on immigrants as they arrive in New York and are fed to the creature underneath the Statue of Liberty. Maze, the stand-in for Silicon Valley tech companies, builds their factories at specific points to tap into the power of the Horned Serpent in collaboration with the Department of Defense, right? Then the ADA essentially worships the Horned Serpent, and they seek to free it from underneath the Earth's crust in the hope that their great leader, George Washington, will restore the country to greatness. In reality, the release of the Horned Serpent ends the world, right? So, to recap, the Horned Serpent is George Washington, who is revealed to be an actual monster, a literal monster. He is worshipped as a god. He feeds on immigrants and the working class. The ideas of him are used to justify the expansion of the military-industrial complex, the spread of free trade, quote-unquote, around the world and American empire, and the unchecked powers and mindless worship of this force, of this version of our founding fathers, and this model of culture that seeks only to consume and grow with no end in sight eventually leads to the destruction of the planet.
That's so crazy, and I've never heard of that before in my life at all.
Yeah, bro. It's not that deep, though, bro, right? It's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep, bro. So that's, again, like the whole thing is like, the better understanding you have of our history, the more this shit kind of hits, though, too. Like, you have to kind of know, like, these are not things that Manticore is pulling out of their ass, right? These things have meaning because history has lessons to teach us. Because there are things that happened in history, and the way that it's presented is wrong. And the whole series is kind of about how the worship of the founding fathers and the myth of America as we celebrate it, as we hold it up, is bullshit. Right? That's why it's the mythos.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, come on. Yeah. If you want to hear shatter the illusion that George Washington was a chill guy, nonchalant, I would recommend checking out the Dollars podcast 567, which is the first president's slave, Ona Judge, or the book it is based on, Never Caught, the Washington's Relentless Pursuit of their runaway slave, Ona Judge. And you can hear about how George Washington completely descended into madness. He completely lost his shit over the fact that a person that he enslaved did not want to be a slave and ran away from him.
But his teeth.
And his teeth were mad fucked up. And he died super delirious and fucked up. And the story of his death is also fucking nuts. The way that they stuffed it with like beetles and shit. It was weird. 1700s, wild time. But also, yeah, again, he was like the richest man in America. It's not like he was some or just some humble farmer that just decided to step up and do what was right. He was the richest man in the colonies.
Yeah, that is like, if I think back on elementary, middle school type U.S. history, like even as in U.S. history in high school, it is very these guys just came and
right.
Did all this.
It's all this like mythologized shit of just like these are the gods that handed down the perfect constitution that could never be questioned. We have this system. Thanks to them, they did everything right. Nothing has ever gone wrong. Like when the reality is not that. There's a lot of debate over why we wanted independence, but some of the reasons are not great. They are, there's a lot to unpack, but overall, I definitely agree with the idea that basically the mythos, that this worship of Americana, of the American way, is a disease that will tear us apart.
We've got a lot of diseases on the show. Cryptozoology.
We got a lot of diseases.
Worship. Yeah. American deities.
Yeah.
American gods, in a sense.
American gods.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess there is the theme of dark chapters, dark shit America has done, kind of ties our two stories together in some ways.
Look at our minds.
Different perspectives, I think, right? Because there's perspective of people that are victims, and the perspective of Americans, and the way that we continue to mythologize and tell ourselves that we are always right.
Yeah, it's like okay, like I said, like American gods, like I feel like we're all very like interested in like the mythological gods of like Greece, Rome, and like all of these other things, and like we don't have like direct equivalents for ourselves, but I feel like we're sort of making some.
Yeah, I think we basically have that level of kind of deification of the founding fathers for sure, and
it's
and the ideals of America, which generally comes down to free market good. Like
free market good, and who up for labor today?
Yeah, free labor queen.
Who up laboring? Who up laboring?
Yeah.
The analog horror.
I can't with people like the whole like it was not that deep thing. Like, and again, like it's something that I'm sometimes guilty of, like for sure, when I don't want to think about shit and I want to be lazy, I'll just be like, hey, whatever. Like the first, like I'll be timely. This is going to date the podcast, but the first time I heard about, I just saw like the headline about the Sydney Sweeney jeans thing, and I was just like, oh, bad joke. And then I watched the video, and I was like, oh, it's bad joke. I'm sure it's not like that ill-intended, right? It's just like the joke is just bad jeans. And then I watched it, and it was like, my perfect blue eyes, my gorgeous blonde hair, my beautiful white skin. And I was like, oh, okay. This is all right. Yeah, this is not good. This is definitely eugenic shit.
Yeah. I read the...
Not the copy.
Because I didn't like, I heard like the first couple seconds of it, and I was like, I know that people probably hate my speaking voice on the podcast. but this is unbearable. But also it's like sometimes when I'll watch like a video for one of our things and it's like some individual going off on like a misogynistic rant of some sort, and I'm like, do I have to listen to this, or can I find like text of it and then bear it that way? It felt like very like that.
Right.
We're again, shout out to everybody in the future who's gonna deal with 2020 to 2025 and on their quizzes and their test papers. Shout out to A-Push if it still exists. Then we're sorry for that passing, D, but at least you passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they're not still doing date questions. I don't think they'll have expectations that kids can remember shit whenever those tests are being made. It's
just, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like, it's not that deep lately.
Yeah. I think that's especially, I mean, again, I think American anti-intellectualism runs very deep. Like our desire to just be like, shut the fuck up, nerd. Like that's just, and it's a learned behavior. We don't have to be this way. Sometimes things are that deep. Sometimes it's okay to, and I think overall, I've just been feeling also just like the need to be able to face things and change your mind.
Yes,
is an important thing. And it's something that I think most people I struggle with sometimes. I sometimes don't want to change my opinion on things. You know, I feel like I have my shit figured out, but you have to be willing to say, okay, maybe I need to reappraise things. Maybe George Washington was not the perfect God King that we needed, or whatever it is. It's just something that you need to be a little open to sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you fuck up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of like when you're wrong once, you're wrong forever. That feeling,
yeah, for sure.
As opposed to like you were wrong this one time. Now you get to be either right or like fix that sort of thing. It's just like, yeah, right. It sucks to be told that like actually that's not like true, or like you don't have like entire picture of it. But like I feel like we don't like something that I noticed even like in the most relaxed of like pop culture spaces is like the second that you maybe suggest that someone has something wrong, the reaction is like, you've personally called me stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to like saying that I have something wrong. Like the idea of being wrong immediately translates to you are stupid, you are dumb, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you're wrong about this like one thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's definitely, it becomes like a personal attack, or read as a personal attack a lot of times.
Yeah. Like, it's very fun. It's like very, very like interesting to like, as someone who I feel like I give up very easily on like celebrities or like entertainment at like these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like maybe for me, it's like the energy that I don't want to spend anymore of like trying to figure out what's going on. Because like what I have noticed for myself, and I know that it's like kind of like a cop out for me, because then I'm like, I don't want to try anymore. Like, listen, I don't want to. Yeah. I don't. Should I defend you or my friend or my cousin, like that kind of thing? So like, but it's less of like. Anyway, so I don't believe in celebrities anymore, but it's more like I'm fucking lazy. Right.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's not like like the parasocial relationship is not something that you're like, because I feel like a lot of people will get into like the kind of mode of like, well, I need to defend this person to the fucking death too, right? Where it's like, this person is fucking, they don't know you. The celebrity doesn't know you. It doesn't matter. Like,
I'm thinking of like, do I have that one? Do I have that celebrity?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. Is there somebody that you would like? I'll kill for you, like kind of shit, you know?
I don't.
Where it's like, I'll ride or die for my parasocial homie.
I don't know anymore. Maybe like when I was in high school, maybe when I was in college, I could have had at least like one person, but like, because of how severe my like, I hear one thing about this celebrity and I'm immediately done. Like, well, I had a rumor that you had a dungeon. I'm like, who?
Oh, that sounds like kink shaming.
I know. Like sometimes I'm like, like, damn, like I'm like, yeah, I'm a very open-minded person. Except for when I hear one thing about like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's I notice that it becomes like severe sometimes.
Here's wait. Other side of that, do you have a problematic fave?
Okay.
Yeah. Prince.
But I don't, but even at that point, do I even, I used to listen to Prince every fucking day.
Yeah.
But now I can't anymore. And I have him tattooed on my arm. And in my brain, I'm like, well, this is like, I don't ever regret any of my tattoos, right? I'm going to get it, right? But then at this point, I don't even regret this. Stylistically, it's very beautiful, right? I had it modeled after like the Andre 3000 Cartoon Network television show, right? And then Prince, very heavy, big, huge impact on me as a musician. And this is specifically from Purple Rain, right? So that like, I'm like contextualizing, I'm excusing it to myself. I'm like, well, this is because it's like a specific art. And it's like, I don't even remember. So that those are, and I'm like, but is he like a problematic fave? I don't even think I could be like, yeah, problematic fave. Because like sometimes when I do listen to a Prince song, I'm like, you know, I think it's like, so, you know, I don't even think I have a problematic fave because even now I'm like, I lack loyalty these days.
You're not like that attached to.
Yeah, I think I lack so much loyalty these days that if I'm listening to a musician and my brother says, oh, that person's not nice because I think they did it, immediately my brain is like, well, I don't like this song anymore. I get the ick so fast. I don't even think it's like a ew, like, oh, I can't listen to it. I think it's just like the ick. You know, I get the ick so fast. And it's like, when it comes to like being like wrong about things, I have fully lean into like, I'm very dumb. If you tell me I'm wrong about something, I can accept that. Right.
Yeah.
I've said like, I can't read, blah, blah, blah. Obviously I have a level of my intellectual that is there. Right. I'm not going to do this show if I thought I was a silly, goofy boy who couldn't do it.
You're a smart person. We know this.
But I have leaned into like, I'm dumb. You can tell me that I'm wrong. So much so that like, I have become a lot comfortable in someone telling me
wrong.
Sometimes even to the point of like second guessing what I know sometimes. So it's so that's like one thing. Like I get the ick very easily if someone like suggests something bad to me, but then also like I have sort of accepted my dumbness, my like I'm going to be wrong about this anyway, to the point that like I sort of question whether I actually do know something.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Yeah, the EP was trying to tell me, they're like, oh, I'm a bimbo. I was like, no, I'm the dumbass in this relationship. You can't take the spot from me. I've had this for 7 years. You can't just come here and be like, oh, I'm the dumb one. Fuck off. No, that's not how this works. No. Like,
yeah, and I'm just like, EP dumb? No. I was just like,
no.
I was like, I'm voting Ben from my president.
I was like, yeah, you wish, EP. You wish you were the dumb one. That's not
That's my president.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I don't know. Even thinking back to like like Man in the Suit being canceled by the creator itself because of like people's reactions to it and how like it tarnishes like the thing. It's like, the correct way of consuming this content is to not sully any names and not suggest an alternate sort of reality the way that, you know, we're suggesting alternate realities of Monsieur James Dean being Mr. President, like that kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. Is the Monument Mythos still going? Season 3 is not.
Season 3 is the end of the Monument Mythos. There is other, like there's more James Dean shit and the Nixon verse and various other kind of series that are, you know, still alternate American history, some of it in the same multiverse, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. God.
Because, there's like stuff with the fucking timelines. Like obviously, like people die and are alive again in different reality.
I'm very interested in James Dean. Why James Dean? Is there like, when you were looking through this, is there like a specific reason other than James Dean seems cool?
James Dean seems cool. There's a couple like more that are specifically just on James Dean. Like, why is he the president? Why James Dean, I think, might be one of them. So yeah, there's people. Manticore has put some thought into who was President James Dean is one of the more recent ones. Did President Dean visit the Soviets? So there's any question you could have about President Dean has either been answered or is in the process of being answered, I would say.
Okay, so he was the 37th president.
Yeah.
So John F. Kennedy was the 35th, and he was an actor too, wasn't he?
JFK? I don't think so. Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Who? Oh no, he's just handsome.
Yes, he's just the most known as the more photogenic president. Yeah.
Thanks. I think I know enough about his assassination. I don't need a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's not the part. That's not the part that I'm probably looking after. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, are politicians allowed to be? This is something I'm thinking about. Politicians, are they allowed to have non-politician jobs? Are politicians also allowed to be celebrities or actors?
Unfortunately, I'd say yes, but they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I feel like in the Philippines, that happens a lot where
they're also actors.
Yeah, you gather that much support as an actor, and then bam, I am a politician now. And at times, it leads to the sort of the fandomania, right? You can't question stands sometimes, and then lends to you can't question my politician.
I would ask who is our president right now?
T.
Yeah.
So I guess
he wasn't even acting; it was just reality TV.
And it's just like, I don't listen. I think your job should just be politician.
I think so. I think I'm in favor of politics being boring. I think the politics should mostly be unexciting.
Yeah, like okay, like I do want you to get in a fist fight over how much you want this bill to be passed.
Yeah, you should be passionate about it, but
I don't want it to be like okay, and then tomorrow I might wake up to not have this.
Yeah, and I feel like the politics shouldn't just be like, well, the culture war shit, like, just fucking various battlefronts about like, well, the litter boxes in Haskell, like this needs to not be part of this. You guys fucking sign off, delete your accounts.
Like, I do think that you should, like, in the sense that like K-pop idols have their like every media action monitored. I think we should be as strict or stricter on politicians. JD come out saying politicians shouldn't have rights. JK, no. I think that you shouldn't also have fandoms. You shouldn't also have.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we shouldn't treat politicians like celebrities because they should be public servants. They should be like beholden to their constituents. That should be the relationship is like, hey, you're fucking up. We're going to get rid of you. You're fucking up. We don't like none of this fucking like this team sports shit shouldn't be a fucking thing. Like
that's why I'm thinking about like James Dean's like likability as like an actor.
Yeah.
How someone looks, like how someone acts, right? That kind of thing. And then how that lends to like even the politicians that I'm like looking at or interested in right now. I'm like, you're very cool. You're very with it, right? We love the Donnie moment, but I'm also like, we have to essentially also still be careful of like how we act. Cause there is the danger of then having like, he does even a tiny little thing and then that turns on him.
Well, that's the celebrity, like they shouldn't be treated like celebrities. They should be treated like this is their job and their job is to serve us. This is this is not a relationship where it's like, you're the anointed one. We love whatever you do. Like the people rushing to defend the Mamdanis, like the African thing. It's like the African-American registration thing. It's like that doesn't really matter. Like, I don't think most people really give a fuck about that. But to be like, no, you can't question this. No, you can't say anything about this. It's like, he's a politician. They're going to try to throw shit at him. How does this work? Like, this is the game. Like, everybody should be able to criticize politicians.
Yeah. And it's like, like the thing again of like a tiny little blemish on something can like really, really, really like impact. Cause it's like, if let's say like, I love Mamdani, but if like a tiny blip of that, of everyone who loved Mamdani, like showing a little bit of unsureness, that can be like weaponized against him. Right. So you kind of don't want to be like, oh, we're not questioning anything that he's doing. Right. So like any like beloved politician who's like on the side that, let's be honest, on the goods, right?
Yeah.
A tiny bit of like their constituents or their supporters saying anything a little bit bad can be weaponized by.
That's the thing that's how we end up with like the whole like blue no matter who, like blaming the left for any time a Democrat loses, when it's like the Democrats are not touching anything that the Democratic base supports. They don't want to advocate for public health care or ending the genocide in Gaza, right? They don't want to touch it.
They just want to ask us for $20.
Yeah, so they blame people that have criticisms for losing the election, right? That's like why you get this whole like backlash of well fuck Palestinians, I'm gonna go drink Starbucks, I'm gonna go eat McDonald's, fuck them. Like it's because it's easier than actually proposing policy for them.
It's like, okay, if we at one point we don't, everybody who's sort of going like, oh God, JD and Ben on their little pedestal, okay, let me connect it back to Godzilla, where it's like that tiny bit of like everyone pushing over the people who, the tiny little group that pushed back on you knowingly, leading to canceling the whole thing, because it tarnishes a little bit of it by making Toho look like a very bad company for Goji and for the unnamed suit actor that could maybe be Haruo Nakajima. And it's like, we're at, guys. Yeah. It's
fundamentally, this is a person that likes Godzilla, I think. You guys are more or less, you're on the same side here.
It's
like, get over the little shit here.
It's like, you're interacting with the media wrong. This person is at least interacting with the media. I 100% think that they're interacting with the media as a little bit deeper than you are. They're scouring through. It's like they're not making up these images, right? They're literally scouring through like records.
They're pulling from
so
Godzilla footage and stuff like that.
You're not interacting with media the way that they are. Then arguably, maybe they're interacting with it more than you.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm anti-canon and I'm anti-celebrity. I think those are two things like, it's just like this kind of stop the worship shit. Come on.
I think canon is a fun place to play in, but like the imagination is very fun and awesome. And I love me a celebrity. Do you not?
Oh, there you go.
Them too.
Problematic faves. You know what Brett said. Okay.
Oh my God! Don't do that. I really was like, Ben, cut this out. I'm going to tear this down right now. And I'm like, okay, like there are days when Paddington, like back when Paddington Twitter used to be like, oh, thank you, Miss Queen, blah, blah, blah. I love the royalty.
Yeah.
Even Paddington has his moments where I'm like,
yeah, you're close to tearing down that poster.
Cut that shit out, Paddington. Like when someone was like, this your boy? And I'm like, maybe he is my problematic fave. Okay.
Paddington is problematic fave.
Because he speaks. If you're going to be like, oh God, is Godzilla your problematic fave? He's like ruining towns. He's killing people. And I'm like,
you're okay with that. It's all right. Yeah.
And I'll be on.
Paddington supports the monarchy.
Because he talks and he thinks.
Yeah. This
is how you accidentally push me to not like Paddington anymore, as you let me talk myself into it imaginatively, and then I accidentally get the ick so bad.
Yeah. What do you think Paddington's views on Israel are?
Oh my God, I'm
They're all best friends. They're all ally in the Middle East.
Like, Paddington, shut up. Like, accidentally make myself hate Paddington. 2 seconds away.
Flame out on Paddington. Yeah.
Like Crusher era. It's like, it's because he's top.
Me and Paddington are officially over. Posting that.
So like, Paddington is no longer my best friend now. Blah blah blah. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna return into the arms of Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh seems just like very straightforward.
I don't know that there's that much for Winnie the Pooh. Really.
Wow. Wow.
Not problematic, just bland, boring.
Oh, okay. So people who have done nothing wrong are boring and bland then, so you want everybody to have
like
a
little spice, a little.
Okay. All right. So that's the thing. But
it's more human.
I mean, yeah. You gotta get what is at the end of the day, what has the Monument Mythos and Godzilla taught us?
What has it taught us? I don't know, man. America's fucked up. The country, our history is horrible. Corporations are awful. Many things will try to dehumanize us.
Yeah.
And it can be good to have an outlet for your rage, but it can also consume you. Yeah. I guess would be.
Guys, have an appropriate amount of rage. At the end of the day, come back to yourselves. Get back to your office job.
I think that's right. That's like the kind of the Zen thing is like, when you're angry, be angry, but don't hold on to it longer than than you actually are angry. Because sometimes you're like, I'll be like, I'll get angry sometimes, and I'll be like mad, and then it won't be the thing I'm mad about. I'm just mad because I was mad, and I'm like, I'm still gonna be mad. It's like I'm not mad about the same shit anymore. It's just like I'm gonna like find something else,
I think that's my problem, is that I don't get mad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get mad, so that on days when I become mad, it's very like intense, and it doesn't come out.
Yeah.
It just is. It's now me going, why are you so mad? Chill out, bro. So like, I don't, it is very nice that I don't get mad and I don't get irritated and all that stuff, but also like, that means I don't know how to be mad correctly.
Yeah,
right. And it
just to like, feel it. And it's a tough thing. I think like anger is especially like it's a scary emotion to have,
It is.
And it's one that like, it's okay to feel like it's I think all human emotions are okay to feel, right? And to like let it go through you. Like, again, we're just humans. This is part of like being alive. Like, you can't just like push things down. I feel like that's like, it's just not healthy. But it is like, I think the thing with like anger is that it is that's one that you can feed, and it can kind of like take over, where like everything, like, and I think that we see that a lot with like people that are just mad at fucking everything, and it's like, there was like that little spark of madness that just spread and took over everything. But again, probably that's partially based on like trying to hold it down for so long at a certain point. Because if you're just like fuck this, you have your moment, and then you're like, okay, I was mad,
a productive kind of mad.
Now I'm feeling a little better. Okay, we got that out. It's all right. Okay, I felt mad. I acknowledged it. I acknowledged being mad, because that's better. That's better than being like, I'm not mad. No, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine. I'm cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I think because I don't know how to get mad, or I don't know how to do it correctly. That tends, my two ways of being mad is like, I'm not actually mad, or it becomes like, God, why am I mad? This is stupid. Like, I start getting angry at myself for being mad.
Mad. Right.
So in the 4 times a year that I get mad, it is a battle between those two of like, I'm not mad. And then it becomes a very strange passive aggressiveness that is mostly just on me.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe I don't become a big green monster. Godzilla, I love you, but I can't.
Yeah. The passive aggressive little monster to yourself, but only to yourself. Just, Yeah. I think like the passive aggression is like, my family are all very passive aggressive people. Like, especially, well, my mom is, sometimes she's just straight up aggressive, but I'll probably delete that. But my dad is a very, like, my dad's family are like very New York, very like, oh, is that how you feel? Like, they just like get very passive aggressive with shit, I'm like, here's your food, that kind of shit. And it's definitely, that's the thing that I think that's my way of getting mad too, that I've inherited, is just kind of like, when I'm mad, it just comes out as like being a little bitchy. And that's, I think, like maybe the worst thing, because it's like I can't even acknowledge to myself sometimes that I'm mad. Sometimes I'm just like, no, I'm not mad. Why would you ask that? What, you think I'm mad? Like, like that shit. Of course I'm not mad. No, why would you even ask me that? It's fucking like.
Maybe we all get a turn once a year at being Godzilla.
That wouldn't be too bad. I think that, yeah. Again, it's like the thing is there's productive ways to be mad. There's productive ways to feel emotions. And then there's ways that become all consuming. And again, like the thing with like being passive aggressive and mad is that sometimes it just goes on for too long. And like it does become like, well, why am I mad? Why the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I,
I can't imagine that it's good for your heart to hold a lot of these things in.
Yeah. So there's got to be ways of getting it out, processing it, and acknowledging it that, yeah, you were mad. You are mad. And it's okay to be mad, but you can't just hold on to that anger. You have to kind of like, okay, there we go. It's done. It's gone. I had my moment. I flipped out. Whatever it was. Valid. Punched a pillow. Who cares? Yeah. But, yeah.
Guys.
Gotta let it out. You can't hold it in. Don't turn it inward either, though, because that's not healthy either. It's just, yeah. It's not. It's okay. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to have those moments, I think. And again, yeah, you don't want to become the man in the suit who is just consumed by it. You don't want to be. Yeah. And again, he is probably turning it on himself in some ways too, right? Yeah. Like he's like, I would rather destroy myself than like face the pain, right?
Real.
Yeah. Yeah, which is real. It's tough to, that's just scary.
And unknowingly, if the Godzilla fandom ever fucking relaxes and unclenches.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's some good deep themes in there. I like that shit. Yeah. Well, hey, y'all. We kept y'all long enough. Who knows what's going to make it in this final cut? Because we said some shit.
We did.
We said some shit for real. Yeah, whatever. Sometimes
numbers, you don't get to have that.
Yeah, no. We'll definitely take that part out. Yeah, addresses, former aliases. Yeah, our feelings on Palantir, because they're all going out.
This is why I hand wrote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Can't hack that. Good OPSEC. But yeah, y'all, thank you for listening. This episode was written and produced by BenJD. For all of our sources, head to the website in the description below. I forgot to credit our amazing musical producer.
We don't have to have it. His birthday is tomorrow.
Aw, happy birthday. That's exciting. Tell him happy birthday. All of our music is provided by the very talented Jager Frank. If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy. Go get mad sometime. Yeah. And yeah, that's all we got for this season. And we will talk to y'all next time when we talk about something else. We haven't decided what yet. Bye.